Hey there, let's continue our Google Ads course. In the previous lesson, I explained to you the logic of setting bids. Today we're starting to work on conversion tracking setup. In this lesson, we're going to install Google Tag Manager on our website. Well, I hope you already have a website. To start, we type in search Google Tag Manager, hit enter, and here's what we need. We click the first result and it opens this page. There's a create account button here that you need to click. But I'm not going to start with that. I'll show you one of my working Google Tag Manager accounts so you understand what the hierarchy looks like in here. Look, this thing is an account, this is an account, and this is another account. Inside one account you can have a certain number of different containers. Normally one website, one container, although sometimes there can be multiple containers. Here I've got an example like that too. One account and two containers inside it. But right now we're going to make one. We create our first account and a container inside it. We click create account and we'll create both the account and the first container inside that account at the same time. Account name. Name it however you want. It really doesn't matter. Just whatever you like. I'll type Tony. That's my name. Country. Mine is United States. If yours is different, you pick a different one. Share data anonymously with Google and others. Up to you, why not? But I'm not doing that right now. That's all the data you need to create an account. Now we move on to creating a container inside this account. You can name it however you want to. This container name doesn't show up anywhere. Only we see it. You can type literally anything. Doesn't matter. But I usually type the website name without any HTTP, just capitalized. So it's clear for me. I understand what it is. I understand which website it's for. I just won't get confused. Here I choose web. I scroll down and click create. Here you read everything and click yes. And here's the code you need to add to the website. I'm intentionally closing the code window and I'll show you where to find it. You're in and you don't see that code. Up top you click here and the code opens right there. That's how simple it is. But before we add it, I'll close it again, scroll all the way to the top and click back to home, that little arrow on the left. We look at the account and container we created and we don't mix them up. This is the account and this is the container. This is exactly what I showed you, so you understand where you are and how all of this works. If needed, you can click the three dots next to the container. From there, you can go to its settings and also give someone access to it, if necessary. And because you can have a whole bunch of containers inside one account, don't mess it up and don't click here to give access to the entire account with all the containers inside it. Just get used to this interface step by step, what's where and how it looks. Alright, we go inside, we click here on the identifier of our container. The code opens, the code we need to add to the website. Under the code blocks, there's this thing. We can enter our website address and test whether the code is on the site right now. And it will check not just any GTM container, but specifically this one we just created. If the website isn't new and you're setting up ads for a client, people often don't even know whether they have a GTM container on their site or not. And so you don't create a new one for no reason. You can simply check if it exists. And if it's there, you just request access. You can use different browser extensions for that. But this is a training course and I'm showing you how to see this info from the original source, meaning the site code. I'll copy the text Google Tag Manager from here or from here. And I go to the website where we want to check if it's installed or not. By the way, the most convenient browser for working with code is Chrome. A lot of things don't work in Safari. We open the context menu and choose View Page Source, or we just press Ctrl U. The site code opens. Then you press Ctrl F, that's the search field, and we type Google Tag Manager. And in our case, we see 0 out of 0, meaning it's not there. There's no Google Tag Manager on the site. Now the second option. We copy our website domain and go back to our Google Tag Manager. We already know the result, but just for fun, let's paste the domain here and click Test. Your Google tag wasn't detected on your website, but we already know that. But if the website isn't new, all of this can be checked. Alright, let's add the container code to the website. What do we see here? We see two code blocks. The top one needs to be added as close to the beginning of the page code as possible. This section inside code is called the head. The second code needs to be inserted right after the opening body tag. Basically, that's the main part of the code. There are lots of different CMS platforms. CMS means a content management system. There are tons of website builders too, and all of this can look completely different inside. I'll show how to add it using a WordPress website as an example. Around 70% of websites on the internet are made on WordPress. It's the most common website platform in the world. That's why I'm using it for the example. Because it's so widespread and it's free by itself, there are a ton of WordPress developers. More developers means more competition, which usually means relatively lower prices for building and improving websites. By the way, after the Google Ads course, I'll record a course on search engine optimization, and then a course on building websites on WordPress. In general, I'm not a WordPress fanatic, I'm just explaining why I chose it as an example. So I copy the first code, go to the website admin panel, and paste it into the header field. In your website admin panel, there will be a place to add the head, and there will also be a field to add the body. We go here, copy the second part, and paste it. Also, if you use some kind of website builder, they try to make everything as simple as possible for their users. They won't ask you to paste the whole code. They'll ask you to paste just this GTM identifier into a specific Google Tag Manager field. This one right here. It's here. This is it too. You can also copy it right from here and paste it. That's just so you understand. There are different ways. CMS platforms can be different. Admin panels can be different, but the idea doesn't change at all. If your website is custom built, then you basically have no other option than to give this code to a developer so they add it to the website. For me, I just need to click the Save Changes button in my site admin panel, and the code is already published. And now I can enter the website address here again, click Test, and make sure the code is on the site. I click Test, and yep, green check mark. The code is on the site. Perfect. Now I'll explain what's so great about Google Tag Manager and what it's for. Imagine you have a website. Most likely you do. For example, your website. And then let's say Google Ads. And inside Google Ads there are some tags you need to place on the website. There's Google Analytics. It also has a tag you need to place. Here's Microsoft Ads and Clarity. Their codes also need to be added to the site. And then there's some CRM you use, and there's also something in there you need to add to the website. And to add each code to the website, the person who manages the website needs access to it. They need to understand how everything is set up so they don't break anything. Then another tag shows up, you need to place it too. You go to the developer, wait until they're free, pay them a bag of money, and they add that code again. And the person doing the setup is waiting while the developer adds it. Then the developer is busy, basically. It used to be a total headache when it worked like that. And that's when Google Tag Manager showed up. This is our website. These are different services we want to integrate with our website. And this is Google Tag Manager. And look what happens. Google Tag Manager has its own code. And that code is placed on the website one time, which is exactly what we just did. And you pay your developer one time, or whoever manages your website. And that's it. All other services, all those codes, get added inside Google Tag Manager. Do you see how awesome that is? It's seriously amazing. And then you'll be able to test those codes using Google Tag Manager even before we publish the changes. That's awesome. Let's check one more time that the code is on the website directly in the site code, the way I showed you in the first half of the lesson. We copy Google Tag Manager and go to our website. But now refresh the page, because if you press Ctrl U right now, you'll open the same code you had before, because it's still in the browser cache. Press Ctrl R to refresh the page. Now we press Ctrl U. The code opens. Ctrl F. Paste Google Tag Manager. And there it is. Basically, one part of the code and the second part of the code. Where exactly they are, higher or lower, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that they are inside the correct tags. And that's it. In this lesson, we created Google Tag Manager and added its code to the website. In the next lesson, we'll set it up. It'll be interesting. If you didn't know, this is a Google Ads course where I go step by step from the simplest things, starting with creating an email and then going further and making things more advanced and building an awesome ad campaign. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next lesson. Think bigger and make money.